Guys about setting an entrepreneurial mindset. We're going to start with individual presentations from each of them so you can hear a little bit about their background and where they're coming from. And then I got some questions from all of you and we'll do a little bit of a moderated panel.
So after corporate, I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers for 9 years. Part of the problem with PricewaterhouseCoopers is that what they did was they took the design and they put it into a manual. They came up with something called brand guidelines. What's cool about brand guidelines is it's a cookie cutter template. It's smart for the company. They broke down design into smaller parts. Smaller parts that make it easy to follow, and they get to get anybody to come in and teach them the brand guidelines, and anybody could do designs. The thing is that made the value of a designer go down.
There is a future for creatives, and it's not just graphic design, but a lot of the fundamentals and foundational skill sets are found within the graphic design core curriculum. And then you, depending on what your interests and passions are, then you can go out from there. But my foundation in graphic design has helped me in every job that I've had.
I'm horribly biased. I have a small lack of trust of the system, and so I've elected to go and tell the students because I want to empower the young people to make their own decisions, right? And what you have to understand is here in the state of Ohio, we begin tracking students on career paths in the 2nd grade. They take their first standardized test in the 2nd grade. They take the permanent one that sticks, like that goes on their record, in the 4th grade, right? If we are not there when that first time that they're struggling at something, that they know that creativity isn't a hindrance, it's a help, right? They won't go further. So I started a couple weeks ago actually teaching design in a K-3 environment. So I teach design thinking and design prototyping, and eventually I want to get them to structures for kindergartners, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders.
So I think part of the thing is, and for you guys too, is you got to create content because it's a bunch of people who graduated before y'all, and after y'all you're competing with everybody else. So if you don't get used to getting on camera and showing your uniqueness, then you're going to have an issue. So that's what I want them to do, is show their uniqueness. I think before, when I was talking about the graphic design being turned into a manual, was the problem is that I had to, instead of packaging up my portfolio, my designs, I packaged up my intellect and I sold that. So what people want is they want jayworking, they want me instead of just another designer. So people need to come in front of the camera, or just create some content, so if you're good at writing and stuff like that. So I want to get them on that road, that path now, quick as possible. I mean, one of the things was like, when I worked at the accounting firm was just kind of boring, and they was kind of like micromanaging me. They hated me, I hated doing the stuff. It was boring, so when they wasn't looking, I was selling stuff on eBay. I was just doing all kind. I mean, this is just like my second nature, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like questioning, because I'm supposed to follow these instructions. I'm supposed to stay in compliance. I'm supposed to follow the rules, status quo, work your way up the ladder, and all of this stuff. And this is not the process that we're supposed to do with it. As designers, you need to stand out and be indispensable and shake stuff up and don't question it. I wanted to close on this. I think one of the things that I see a lot of designers happening in the industry is that they it kind of turns into me, buy my stuff. And I think that the role of designer should be a person who gives back and gives stuff. It helps people out, mentoring, and help the other people. I think we could have got out of a lot of issues and a lot of problems with corporate and working our way through all of these issues if we would have had some other designers helping us and coming back and teaching us and talking to us.